You like it too, Baba, and you like Fally Ipupa, and I know you love croissant, but you know the singing song. I thought as much, you know. I do not blame you though. You wanna have them all. You know it's wrong, but the truth is that you're just an Oliver, Oliver, Oliver tree. You're just an Oliver, Oliver, Oliver tree. You're just an Oliver, Oliver, Oliver tree. You're just an Oliver. Why you come there shake it bum bum when you know say you know get it bum bum. Oh yeah shake it bum bum. Cause for this girl you must need the bum bum. Shake it bum bum. You must need the bum bum.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is that why you are here?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Film Radio Show. My name's Stephen Lloyd Jackson. I'll be your host for the next 2 hours.
This country, you gotta make the money. Then when you get the money, you get the power.
Say hello to my little friend!
Every Tuesday night from 12 till 2 in the morning.
I'm going deep undercover.
All the gin joints in all the towns in all the world, she walks into mine.
I'm funny how? I mean funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you?
What do you think, this is the army where you shoot them a mile away? You gotta get up close like this, bada bing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
The S.O. Jackson Radio Show. On topfm.net. Let's paint the picture for the audience.
Mr.
Bond. James Bond.
This is Sparta! Show me the money!
3, 2, 1.
You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
I have a dream.
So make sure you join me and my co-host Charlie Emerson every Tuesday night. Each week we'll be discussing my all-time favorite movies and listening to some great music. The S.O. Jackson Radio Show on ontopfm.net.
That's all, folks.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the SL Jackson Radio Show. My name is Stephen Lloyd Jackson, and I'll be your host for the next 2 hours, along with my co-host, Charlie Emsis. How are you, Charlie?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm feeling really hilarious, funny, because tonight we're going to be doing the 1988 116-minute, $39 million comedy Coming to America.
It's directed by John Landis, actually. He did the Michael Jackson video Thriller.
That's right. He done the Michael Jackson Thriller, and he also done Black and White video by Michael Jackson too. But this movie, it's starring, now this guy, for me, he is the funniest man that's walked this earth. We're talking about none other than Mr. Eddie Murphy. It's Eddie's first film that we're doing ourselves. Ladies, I'm laughing already. You know, this film is so hilarious. It's funny beyond recognition. You know, we've done a couple of comedy films on the show. We've done White Chicks, and I think that's the only comedy we've done. Eddie's done a line of movies. You know, it stretches way back. We're going to be talking about some of his movies later on in the show. But tonight's movie, Coming to America, it stars Eddie Murphy.
It has a big supporting roles.
That's right.
Samuel L. Jackson's in the movie, and Cuba Gooding Jr., Frankie Faison from White Chicks.
Oh yes, he plays the landlord, and also is starring Arsenio Hall as well. You know, Arsenio used to do a chat show way back in the day, and he's recently revitalized his career, and he's got another chat show on, I believe it's on BET or one of those channels, and he's very funny in this too. It's starring James Earl Jones as well. He plays King Jafar Joffa, and also John Amos and Madge Sinclair. You know, we've got a bunch of stars in this movie. But Coming to America, Charlie, what can I say?
It's a very slow-paced movie for a comedy, but I guess that was normal for the 80s.
It's one of these films. I mean, we done The Devil Wears Prada last week, which is a kind of rom-com fairy tale, and in a way, this is somewhat like it is a rom-com fairy tale. The bit you strip away all the laughs, all the gimmicks, all the jokes, it is a rom-com fairy tale. I can't speak highly enough about it. I give it a 10 out of 10 for comedy. So, 1988 Coming to America. So, without ado, I must say, as I always do say, if you haven't seen this movie yet and you do not wish to know what happened in it, cork your Charlie, come on. Cork your ears. So we see the opening of the movie actually starts with the Paramount logo of the mountains. And I like the way how they've done this. They left the mountain in and they kind of helicopter shot it over that mountain and have a panoramic view of the country Zamundo or Zamundo. How would you pronounce that?
Zamunda.
Okay, Zamunda, but it's a fictitious country. It doesn't really belong in Africa. And the credits come up. We go through the clouds. We go through nice kind of panoramic shots of Africa, the lake.
Those are models and some matte painting as well. It's all fake.
Yeah, of course it's all fake. So it's a helicopter shot of Africa and the lakes and a kind of jungle exterior. And after we come in onto the palace, I would say it's like the fortress of Zamunde, where, as I said, there's a king there by the name of King Jaffe Joffa. And that's played by James Earl Jones, who's also been in Star Wars and a bunch of other great movies.
He was Darth Vader's voice.
That's right, and there's a couple of lines that he actually nicked from Star Wars and put into this. It's hilarious. So, directed by John Landis. John Landis is a great director. He's done such classics like The Blues Brothers, which we're going to do in a few months' time, Twilight Zone, An American Werewolf in London, and another classic. This is his third movie that he's teamed up with Eddie Murphy. He actually done Trading Places, which was the first movie collaboration they done together, and then it was Coming to America. Been doing my research, they didn't get on that well, but Eddie Murphy wanted him back to direct Beverly Hills Cop 3, which I think was, wasn't as good as 1 or 2. Okay, so we got the opening shot. We've got this like servant coming in to wake up Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy is a son of a African king of Zamunda, and they're very rich beyond belief, and they don't cut no corners or anything. They really make their imagination run wild.
So Eddie Murphy's bedroom has got like a mezzanine floor on it, and on that floor you got about 10 guys up there, musicians, playing sweet violin music as Eddie Murphy lays asleep in his silk sheet.
They're not
bed.
actually playing it. It's a recording, and it's just pretend.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's the guy. He goes up to this wall. He opens a panel up, and he
Right. Okay. So they're all pretending to play. So he just wants them there for aesthetics, basically. That's hilarious. I didn't even spot that. In the last few days, I've seen it once, but about 10, 15 years ago, I've seen, it was my number one film to watch all the time. And you've got these three lovely, beautiful women ready for his beck and call as he wakes up.
Good morning, Your Highness.
Good morning, Your Highness.
Good morning, Your Highness.
So anyway, so they get him dressed. He's donning on some robes. Eddie Murphy actually plays 4 different characters in this film. His main character is Prince Akeem. He's the son of the king, James Earl's son. And he also plays another character called Clarence, Randy Watson, and Soul. But we'll touch on to those later on. And this is Eddie's first film where he plays multiple characters. And since from this film, throughout his career, in most of his films, he's played more than one character in a film. And he does it brilliantly. This guy is just such a comical genius. So anyway, he's in this big bathtub and he's just getting a little wash by one of the servant girls.
Yeah. Then one comes out from underneath, and she says,
The royal penis is clean, Your Highness.
and people brush his teeth.
I want to wipe his mouth. This is extravagance in writing to the fullness, And the film wasn't written by Eddie Murphy, but it was a story by Eddie Murphy. And he came up with this story along with this other guy where there was a lawsuit on the film. But I ain't going to waste time talking about that because I just want to talk about the good things on this film. So everywhere he walks, you've got 3 beautiful ladies that spread petal flowers everywhere he walks. This is a significant plot for later on. I always say this when we do these movies. Really, this is an educational show as well as an entertainment show. What do you say that, Charlie?
Yeah.
So I always tell writers, the films we discuss is very well versed in the script as well. So the petals have been planted there for another subplot later on in the film.
His Highness must be very excited today.
Why is that, huh?
Today is your 21st birthday, which means you meet your wife-to-be.
Well, I'm curious, but how can a man get excited about a woman he's never seen?
So he's round a big breakfast table with his father, James Earl Jones, and his mother, played by Madge Sinclair. She plays Queen Oeon.
Yeah, and they're talking to each other through an intercom because the table is so big. And he's bothered by something. Earlier he mentioned how he doesn't think it's right to marry someone he's never met before.
Again, guys, I keep banging on about scripts and how you produce a movie with intelligence without sounding patronizing or anything. It's a comedy, yes, but it's very intelligently written, and a lot of the stuff they bring up in this can relate to real life issues, and it does relate to real life issues.
He's bothered because he doesn't want to marry a random servant that's been raised to be his queen. He wants to find his own love.
Would you say it was servant, or I believe it was a colonel's daughter?
But he sees it like she's a servant because she does anything she says.
Yeah, he sees her like he wants someone who he could have an intellectual conversation with, basically.
Yeah.
He wants brains as well as beauty. But his father's, they're old school, so they're kind of like saying, this is the traditional way how it's done. You don't need to meet your queen before you marry her, and because it's an arranged marriage that they're discussing. Yeah. And it's his 21st birthday as well today, so that's the age in their tradition. And this is all fictional, by the way, guys. There's no countries mundo or anything like that. But in their tradition, that's the age they would get married. Eddie Murphy's saying, he wants a woman that he loves deeply, and his father's trying to persuade him not, basically.
Yeah, because he wants to experience the normal person's life, not the rich person's life.
Father, it is not just that, it's everything. The cooking, the pampering, the dressing, the bathing. Actually, I'd rather enjoy the bathing, but just for once, I would like to cook for myself and take care of myself, dress myself, wipe my own backside. And why? Why can't I find my own wife?
And of course, his parents look down on that. And then Arsenio Hall walks in, and they look like
they're just like they're going for a polo match or something like that.
Even the polo shirts there.
Yeah, he plays Semi. He's a very good friend of Prince Akeem, Eddie Murphy's character. So he's Semi. They're like best friends. They grew up together and everything. And he's also got 3 other characters that he plays in this. Arsenio, you could see that he's well familiar with the family. He seemed very close to Eddie Murphy's mother in this. You know, he greets her well. And he's a bit of a player in this, wouldn't you say so? I mean, we've done a movie called Scarface a few weeks back, and we had the same characters. One was very businesslike, one was in it for all the women and all the rich trappings. So the next scene is pretty much funny. Now, Charlie, when I saw this, it reminded me of The Matrix, the fight-off between Keanu Reeves' character and...
Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne's character, when they had this fight and the quintessential jumping around. And I'm sure this inspired that movie and that fight scene. So we've got Eddie Murphy. He's donning a ponytail sewn onto his hair, but we should have some laughs with that later on when he goes to New York. So they've got poles that they're fighting each other with. It's really exaggerated again. As they're fighting, they're kind of talking.
Only dogs are to obey. If you truly love your wife, you will value her opinion.
Hippopotamus shit. You're the heir to the throne of Zamunda. Your wife need only have a pretty face, a firm backside, and big breasts like cassava melon.
Eddie Murphy does this backflip. He does about 10 backflips and he spins up in the air and he comes down and he answers him back. It's just hilarious stuff, like, yeah. Eddie Murphy, he's saying, like, he wants to go somewhere else. He wants to travel and meet, his future wife.
Yeah, and then they have a party at night.
Well, this is actually the wedding, I believe. Eddie is about to be married. So you've got all these VIPs, kings and queens and prince and princesses, government officials going to this wedding reception. And they're all dressed in traditional African attire, military uniform. It's a party.
Yeah, and then it's time to announce Eddie Murphy's new wife, and the colonel comes. He's all very dressed,
military attire. Yeah. Colonel Essie.
There's a ruckus in the back, and a lady comes flying through all the crowd, and then she comes to the front, and she's really big. And
Colonel Essie said, "Yes, you can have my daughter." Words to this effect. And this huge woman comes in, and Eddie Murphy's eyes pops up out of his eye. I don't see nothing wrong with her. She's a beautiful, huge woman. But Eddie Murphy pops out his eyes, and after it's revealed that, she's just the announcer or something like that. And Eddie Murphy holds his hands on his heart to say, geez, I thought you were going to give me a heart attack. Then we've got all these dancers, these African traditional dancers coming in this revealing costume. These are women, by the way, not men dancers. Charlie, don't you think that looked like the Thriller dance? Yeah. Elements of it.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. It's I just feel like telling you guys, get the video, we won't do the show, and I'm going to laugh at it. Yeah. So they're all dancing, like, and it's really beautifully done, choreographed, really well done. Hats off to the choreography on this.
Yeah, the dance stops. The colonel's daughter is introduced to Eddie Murphy. She's alright looking. She's dressed in like gold, but you can tell she's not what he's looking for.
Well, I would say she's a beauty. I would say she's beautiful. That's Vanessa Bell Calloway. She's a nice, slim, petite girl. Eddie Murphy, I would say he's not attracted to her because, again, his dream is to break tradition and go to a far-off land and look for his wife.
Yeah, and then his servant, he comes up to the camera and he starts singing. It took me by surprise.
She's your queen. So he's singing like a song as she enters and she presents herself to him. I don't think this is the marriage. It's probably the engagement party, is it? Yeah. They don't look like they're dressed in.
It is the engagement party.
Yeah.
He takes her to a room and he talks in a civilized way to her. And he tries to find out what she likes, what she doesn't like. And all she's been trained to do all her life since she was born is to be his queen. He's not interested.
He says to her, what kind of food do you like? What kind of dish do you like? She says, I like what food you like. I like whatever you like. I do whatever you like.
Ever since I was born, I've been trained to serve you.
Yes, I know this, but I would like to know about you. What do you like to do?
Whatever you like.
He says that she must not obey him. And she says, I can't do that, Your Majesty. And he tells her to bark like a dog, hop on one. I think that was a bit below the belt, a bit humiliating. Yeah. So she starts to hop on one leg and bark like a dog as she exits the room.
He tells his dad what's wrong. He says, I need to go around the world and look for my own love. And his dad thinks he's talking about going out and having his own experiences in the bedroom with many women. And he approves of him to go for 40 days outside the country, anywhere he would like, with an unlimited funds to experience his life.
Get out, see the world, enjoy yourself, fulfill every erotic desire, and in 40 days you will come back and marry your money.
So basically, the day after that, him and Arsenio Hall gets together. You know, he does say, I intend to find my bride. I obviously want to do it in America. They go in a study and they look on the globe ball and they spin it and they choose America. Arsenio Hall's character say, yes, but this is a big country, you know, and they choose like New York or Los Angeles. And Eddie Murphy says, I'll spin a coin. Ed's New York tells Los Angeles, lifts his hand from the coin. Incidentally, his face is on the coin, Prince Hakeem. And it says New York. They say, we're in New York. And after he gets a magnifying glass and he says, where can a king find a queen in New York? Yeah. And on the map it says Queens. Queens in New York. So, Queen, that's where they head. And the next shot is of Concorde flying to New York. Yeah. Funny, man. Anyway, this is the S.L. Jackson radio show. This is ontopfm.net. And remember, you could hook us up every Tuesday evening or Wednesday morning, 1500 hours GMT. We're going to go away now and play a couple of tracks. And remember, this week we're playing 100% Afro beats. That's African music, Afro beats. Very big music. I hope you guys are going to enjoy it, and we'll see you after that.
Personally, I rock your body. I promise you go home, you won't get daddy. I give it to you like you never had it. Screaming church, like speaking Chinese. Now waiting me this, back a boom boom. Now waiting I see Zaga, cause she know one me. She talks so she know one me. I know go lie, the things within my mind. When I see you dancing, girl, you got me high. And if you wanna try, begin good day tonight. Cause I'm in the mood, as long as you feeling the groove, I deal with you. Personally, I go deal with you. Personally, I go deal with you. I go deal with you. Personally, professionally, I see what you're doing intentionally. Get me wanted physically, so give it to me radically. Emotionally, psychologically, you're turning me on biologically, sexually, dramatically. And she talks so she know what I know go lie, the things within my mind. When I see you dancing, girl, you got me high. And if you wanna try, begin good day tonight. Cause I'm in the mood, as long as you're feeling the groove, I go deal with you. Personally, I go deal with you. Personally, I go deal with you. I go deal with you. Yeah, exceptionally. No reason spiritually. Money speaking so drastically, magically, internationally. Habatically. Grammar, now for dictionary. Saga, but she know one me. She talks so she know one me. I know go lie, the things within my mind. When I see you dancing, girl, you got me high. And if you wanna try, begin good day tonight. Cause I'm in the mood, as long as you're feeling the groove, I go deal with you. Personally, I go deal with you. Personally.
Let's be real.
It's cheese. Cupid, let's go. She done do me right, but she just spent my money, what am I gonna tell my mommy, I should've listened before.
I swear. I mean, do you really care? 'Cause what's yours, you keep, you don't really share. I see how you moving there. You better just stay in line. All I wanna do is just make you mine. You make my heart beat like playing rhyme. Now you wanna leave and say goodbye. African lady, you know say you drive me crazy. I can't let you do me shady. The things that you do don't face me. London baby, you know say you drive me crazy. I can't let you do me shady. The things that you do don't face me. Shoulda do me right, oh. But she just spent my money, oh. I gave you my ooh, oh, we gave you a soul. I fell in love with you, but you made me fool. Oh, you just made him fall. I got you but ring like I made him cool. Oh, you didn't even call. But I'll shake you off like I'm on the floor. I'm not the one on the floor. Asian lady, you know say you drive me crazy. I can't let you do me shady. The things that you do don't face me. American baby, you know say you drive me crazy. I can't let you do me shady. The things that you do don't face me.
Jackson Radio Show. This is on topfm.net. The two tracks you just heard, the first one being by P Square, and that's Personally, and the next one by Fuse Odd, and that's Antenna. Two great Afrobeat tracks. They're very popular doing the club circuit at the moment. So we're talking about the 1988 $39 million comedy starring Eddie Murphy coming to America. Eddie Murphy, of course, he was born in April the 3rd, 1961. At the age of 15, he started writing and doing stand-up gigs. He used to do it at his local pageants in Brooklyn. And in 1961, he appeared on Saturday Night Live. And I think, you know, he bought the house down there. And his first debut feature film was in 1982 with 48 Hours with Nick Nolte, directed by Walter Hill. We've done, what's that movie we done? The Warriors. So the filmology of Eddie Murphy, you guys ready? How many seconds are you going to give me on this, Charlie? Because it's quite a long one.
I don't know.
So it's 48 Hours, Raw, Trading Places, Beverly Hills Cops 1, 2 and 3, Coming to America, Harlem Nights, another 48 Hours, Boomerang, The Distinguished Gentleman, Vampire in Brooklyn, Dr. Dolittle, Bowfinger, Life, Nutty Professor 1 and 2, Shrek, Dreamgirls, Tower Heist, many, many more. You know, there's a few I just left out, not because I didn't like them, but, you know, I just left them out. And he's a brilliant, brilliant comedy actor. Basically, the plot of the story is Eddie Murphy's reached 21. He's from Zamunda, a country in Africa. He's a son of a king, played by James Earl Jones, King Jaffa Joffa. Eddie Murphy does not want to get a traditional wife from Zamunda, so him and his best friend Arsenio Hall, they go to America, to Queens, to look for a wife. Simple fairy tale plot, no?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're at the part where they've landed in New York. I would imagine it's JFK. And they're walking through the airport. And Eddie says, you know, here I'm just an ordinary person. No one's going to recognize me or anything like that. And he's got like these big gold medallions around him, big kind of Russian coats and Russian hat. Both of them have. And they really stand out like a sore foot. And everybody's looking at them. So they pick up a taxi driver. They stop a taxi driver.
Halt!
You dumb f***. And he says to the cameraman, take me to Queens. He's got about 20 cases of luggages.
Yeah.
And the man says, you kidding? So he takes him to Queens. I believe they actually shot this part in Brooklyn, though. It could be Queens, I don't know. So they go down to Queens. It's snowing. It's very cold there. And they park outside a barber shop. And the barber shop is owned by a guy called Clarence, who Eddie Murphy plays Clarence as well. And it's hilarious. It's called My Tea Shop. Or My Tea Shop? What is that?
I don't know.
Yeah, man. It was a barber shop. And so all this stuff is left out on the pavement, like, you know. That part of New York in that day is kind of like ghetto, if you see what I mean. So you got like a lot of oboes, tramps, people just watching them come in, women throwing rubbish out the window. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I've been to Queens and Brooklyn. It's a beautiful place. So, but just for the film's sake, they're depicting it like this. They're like amazed and fascinated by it. They say America is great indeed, a country so free, one throw glass out on the street. I don't know what that line meant, did you?
It means they can do what they want.
Yeah, but he said the glass is green. Like, I didn't get the connection, but anyway. So they're in the barber shop now, and there's also a Jewish guy played by Eddie Murphy called Soul. Now, of our research on this film, John Landis, the director, he said he wanted a white Jewish guy. By the way, it's predominantly African-American neighborhood. And you got this Jewish guy, you know, he just hangs out, they talk about sports personalities. They're having an argument to see who was the best boxer at the moment.
Hey, I ain't saying Clay bad. I'm just saying I stopped liking Cassius Clay once you changed the name to Muhammad Ali. What kind of is that?
Wait a second. A man has the right to change his name to whatever he wants to change it to. And if a man wants to be called Muhammad Ali, God damn it, this is a free country. You should respect his wishes and call the man Muhammad Ali.
His mama named him Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay.
And I like the way our Soul, the Jewish man, played by Eddie Murphy, pronounce it. He says, Muhammad. He says it like how you pronounce the Jewish.
I like Eddie Murphy as these guys. He plays two of the characters here. He's really funny.
Yeah, but as I was saying earlier, John Landis wanted a white Jewish guy in the movie because he said it was to counteract when a lot of Jewish comedians back in the 19th, early 20th century used to dawn themselves up as black people and take the mick out. So John Landis, he wanted to change that around. Like, we get an inset of the barber shop. So we're going to visit the barber shop in a minute. And Eddie Murphy, he knocks on a door. He's wanting to rent a room, and Frankie Fashion answers the door and he lets them in. And as he lets them in, you just see a scourge of people like rats just take their luggage away. So Frankie's talking to these guys in the hallway first, and he's saying, you're from Africa, you just got off the bus. He's trying to take the mick, out of these guys from their appearance and where they come from. So he shows them up to a room. It's a very funny scene. There's a guy who just fell down the stairs pretending to have a heart attack or something because it was rent due day or something. It's funny, but I can't describe it. So when you get the DVD, you'll see.
Your rent's due, motherfucker! And don't be pulling that falling down the stairs on me, you hear?
Frankie Fashion takes them up to a room. He shows them the room. They say, yeah, that would do. He said, there's only one bathroom on this floor. A lot of New York apartments back in the day, they didn't build them with kitchens or bathrooms. They were separate rooms. So he shows them the bathroom. As he opens the door of the bathroom, you hear all the flies and, like I said, it's a real messed up place.
Yeah, and then he goes to a door with a lot of police
tape on it, like as if there was a murder committed. And they open the door, there's all this blood on the wall, and they look down, there's some rats, and there's a marking, white tape marking of where a body was laid dead and of a dog.
Damn shame what they did to that dog.
And Eddie Murphy's delighted because it's a really bad room. And it's Arsenio Hall, of course. He's not used to this.
Arsenio Hall don't want to do this, man. Yeah. So it's really hilarious, And so Eddie Murphy's now, they've got their room sorted out. He's out on the balcony and he says, I love this country.
Behold, Simi, life, real life, a thing that we have been denied for far too long. Good morning, my neighbors! Hey, f*** you! Yes! Yes! F*** Fuck you too!
He thinks like the F word is something complimentary or something good to say, like, because the taxi driver was swearing on the way up there first. They exit their apartment now and they look around on the street and they see the neighborhood dressed up in their clothes, basically, that they stole from the suitcase. And then a bloke comes up to them and say, "Hey man, do you want some toothbrushes? And there's some gold tooth, and that's their stuff, you know, and a gold hairdryer." And Arsenio goes to chase after the guy. Eddie Murphy said, "Don't worry about it, we can afford it, you know."
Yeah.
But those things belong to us. Yeah, we're well rid of those material things. Let them wear our princely robes. We're in New York now. Let us dress as New Yorkers.
Then they go to change their clothes now, get out of these coats. They come out of a store in the next shop and they're dressed like in hoodies and hats and very colorful
baseball
sports.
jackets.
Yeah. Sports.
They look like, if you were to take the mick out of a tourist, like in any country, what they dress, it'd be typically, I want to look American, or I want, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they pass a TV shop and they see an advert for Super Glow. Is it Super Glow?
Soul Glow.
Soul Glow. That's going to come up later in the story.
Yeah, Soul Glow basically makes your hair into a perm.
Yeah, it's like Afro products for their hair. Right. Yeah, but that was big back in the day though, you know. All the girls who had perm, wet look, we used to call it. So anyway, so they go in the barber shop and they're in Eddie Murphy's character. Eddie Murphy plays two characters in the barber shop. He plays Clarence, the owner, who is hilarious. They've done him up. He's got like a big butt forehead, grey receding hair. He's about 70 or something, but he's got the energy of a 15-year-old and he just talks like, you know. Eddie Murphy also plays, as I said before, Soul, S-A-U-L, not soul like soul, but soul then, isn't it? You pronounce it soul. That's a Jewish guy who probably hangs out at the bar. Again, he's about 80 years old. He wears a bow tie. He wears a hat, a top hat. Arsenio Hall in the barber shop. He plays Morris, I believe. He's another barber, and then after we've got one more barber. And the scene is hilarious. It's
the best, one of the best moments in the film is in the barber shop.
Yeah, you could have just made a film, called it The Barber Shop, not Ice Cube's Barber Shop, but you know, a new barber shop. So anyway, Eddie Murphy says, like, you know, you like a haircut. He's talking to himself, but they're different characters. Yeah. Clarence, the barber, he fills his hair. He says, "Hey man, your hair's nice and soft. What kind of products do you use?" And Eddie Murphy says, "I don't use products. I just use berries and juice."
What kind of chemical you got in there? I have put no chemicals. Only juices and berries.
He says he used berries and juice in his hair. So Eddie Murphy says, you know, what could you do? So Clarence, the owner, the barber man, he cuts off the ponytail and throws it away. And he says, that'd be $8.
That'd be $8.
Yeah. And that's it. That's all he does to his hair.
That's all he does. It's really funny. It's hilarious.
And
yeah.
They go to a club.
Yeah, that's right. They go to a club. We see a montage of them interviewing women who Eddie Murphy could...
Scary women.
Yeah. They come up with a whole load of stuff. You got a couple of twins. Arsenio Hall is one of the women as well, you know. There's all these different women and it goes through a montage. So what do? You know, and they're all coming out with different stuff. But they're all unsuitable. They're not Eddie Murphy's type, to say the least. You know, that gets blown out as well.
They're exaggeratedly bad.
I worship the devil.
I'm not interested in a man unless he drives a BMW.
Yeah, well, you know, baby, I'm almost single. My husband's on death row.
This is the first date Teresa and I have been on since the doctor separated us.
And I think it's probably in Queens, this bar. They don't even go to Manhattan once in the whole movie.
Well, they go to the Astoria when they're at the Astoria Hotel. That's the only time they pass through Manhattan. And most of the film is shot in New York, and there's one more scene, I believe it's where Zamundo's supposed to be, that was shot in California, in the desert somewhere, I don't know.
So they have doubts of finding his queen. They went to one bar or many bars around the Queens area area and they can't find his queen.
They're walking on kind of like dejected. And remember, their apartment's on top of the barber shop. So as they reach home, you got Clarence locking up for the night. You know, he's making light talk with them. He said, hey guys, what's up? And you know, they explain their dilemma to him. You know, they're looking for a woman, whatever. And he says, well, you can't find a woman in a bar or club. You know, you find a nice woman in church or a library. And he tells them about a Black Awareness Week. There's a pageant being held just down the road. He said he's going there that night. So I'm laughing because this is another hilarious. Charlie, you said the barber scene was hilarious. I think this scene's hilarious
Yeah, because he's Arsenio Hall's playing a reverend.
Yes, yeah.
Soul preacher.
He's playing Reverend Brown, and they're having a beauty pageant, and it's kind of sponsored by McDowell's, not McDonald's, McDowell's. And we're going to come on to that in a minute. There's really crowded place, beautiful women on stage in this pageant, and you got Reverend Brown kind of perving over there.
I know there's a God somewhere. There's a God somewhere. Turn around, ladies, for me, please.
You know,
He's such a sleazebag.
After that, he says his little, not sermon, but he tries to encourage people to give money for it and whatever. And then Eddie Murphy's Randy Watson comes on stage to sing, I believe it's a Stevie Wonder classic.
Yeah,
So
everyone hates that song in there.
everyone hates it. Everybody's just like...
Everyone hates the performance.
Like, how did he get so big?
Of
like,
course, one of the barbers from the barber shop loves him.
He said, he good.
It's funny.
God damn, that boy can sing.
You must be crazy.
He good.
You must be crazy.
So after the lackluster performance, I must say, Reverend Brown says the sponsor should come up. McDowell's is the sponsor. It's a restaurant like McDonald's, but it's not. They actually shot it in a Wendy restaurant. It's Cleo McDowell that comes up. He's played by John Amos. He's done quite a few good films. He's in the Die Hard 2.
Yeah.
He's playing a baddie in that. And he comes up with his daughter.
He's got two daughters.
Yeah, he's got two daughters, Patrice McDowell, played by Alison Dean, and Charlotte Headley. She is going to be the love interest in this between her and Eddie Murphy.
She's got a boyfriend in the crowd.
Yes, whose father owns Soul Glow, the advert we were looking at. And he's we're going to come on to him. He's got this big afro. He's always like combing his hair, combing his moustache. So
Eddie Murphy's clearly in love with this girl
Oh,
already.
as soon as he sees her, she blows him away. She's a nice looking girl, but I wouldn't say she was nicer than any of the girls back in Zamundo. But
I think it's her strength and her independent thinking that attracts him.
And that's why it's up to all of us to provide a place where children can express themselves.
Well, yeah, each to their own. But, they're all nice girls in this.
Yeah, so she asks for donations for the charity.
Yeah.
And he puts a bunch of cash, a lot of money.
Arsenio Hall takes out a bunch of money. It's in a gold money clip. His eyes is just transfixed on Lisa McDowell, Charlotte Headley's character, that he just takes the wad and pull it in a basket.
Yeah.
Again, it's another kind of motive that the writers are planting in for later on during the movie, you know.
Yeah, the Reverend gives out an address, 8507 Queens Boulevard. It's where the McDowell's is.
You can see Lisa and Mr. McDowell and McDowell Restaurant, 8507 Queens Boulevard.
8507 Queens Boulevard.
And so now Eddie Murphy has this new love interest's address where he can go.
It doesn't get any better than this, you know. Comedy doesn't get any better than this, you know. Where you always used to do our kind of dark dramas about drugs, guns, and this and that. So it's nice to do something light. But anyway, this is On Top FM. This is the S.O. Jackson radio show. And remember, you could hit us up on ontopfm.net website. You know, it's got the planner of the show, what times we're coming on. And also it's got links where you could go on to TuneIn Radio and pick up the app there. And you could also download an app for your iPhone or your Samsung. And if you want to speak to me or Charlie, you could hit us up on our Twitter page at SLJ Radio Show. Try and hook us up, or you could get us on our Facebook, SL Jackson Radio Show. This is Coming to America. We're going to play a couple of ravishing Afro beats now. We'll see you after this.
On top in the house.
It's the shake it, mama Mama lip up, mama lip up, now lip up, yes. And the way you roll, you didn't make me lose control. Baby, let me know, mama. Yes, you are the winner, sweetheart. You deserve some loving. The way you moving your body from left and right, you go somebody. Now they come, look at the men, them look at you. Everybody just feeling you, mama, just feeling you, mama. You go like to the balaga, chop in the banana, come and chop in the banana. To the right, your way, to the right, your way, your way, your way. Shit, mama, let go, no. I like the way you take it, no. I like the way you control, lose the control, no. Said I like the way you roll, you didn't make me lose control. Said I like the way you roll, you didn't make me lose control. I'm a sorry wally. While up on bed, I'm a jack, I don't see. But you boy, I'm a big up, mama. Sorry, Wally. While up on bed, I'm a jack, I don't see. But you boy, I'm a big up, mama. You like to the banana. Come on, chop the banana. Come on, chop the banana. To the right, your way. To the right, your way. Your way, your way. Take it, no. I like the way you take it, no. I swear that I like the way you control. Lose control, you make you mama say, you sing. Said I like the way you roll. You didn't make me lose control. Said I like the way you roll. You didn't make me lose control.
Let's be real.
Mastercraft on the beat.
Like that. Oh my God, girl, you making me mad. Girl, the way you pull it down, make me want to go mad. Oh my God, girl, the way you grind up. Anytime I see you, I'm blind up. The way you handle that, oh cool. Are you ready?
Mastercraft on the beat.
Let go. Let go. Dangerous. The way you do, girl, you are dangerous. Anytime I see you move it, girl, you are dangerous. Let go. Baby girl, you are dangerous. Everybody now. Oh my God. Tell me your mind. Oh no. We want to make you mine. Baby girl, you come up me from mine. Take me down to major. The way you handle that.
Mastercraft on the beat.
And welcome back to the S.O. Jackson radio show. This is ontopfm.net. And a couple of tunes you just heard there. The first one being from Iana, and that's Le Kwa Ukwa. And the second one is from Timeya, and that's called Ukwo. Tonight, all the music we're playing, it's 100% Afro beats. That's, it's great high energetic music, mainly from mainland Africa, Ghana, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, all different countries in Africa, and it's mixed in with electronic and a bit. It's beautiful. Just stay tuned for more of that. Okay, we're doing the 1988 hilarious comic drama rom-com, if I could put that in as well, Coming to America, starring Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall, and James Earl Jones.
So now they've come from Africa. He's trying to find his own wife, make his own destiny, and he ends up in Queens in New York, and they end up in a really bad area. They meet a barber who's played by Eddie Murphy as well, and he tells them to go to this hall run by a reverend for Black Awareness Week. This conference is sponsored by McDowell's, a play on McDonald's, and the daughter of this guy who runs this restaurant is a very attractive girl, and Eddie Murphy seems to have been smitten with her, and he ends up finding the address for this McDowell's, and they go there under the pretense of wanting to work for McDowell's and Cleo McDowell's, the owner.
That's right.
And he tells them, that they're in trouble with McDonald's all the time because it's such a similar place.
That's right. He just ran off a photographer or a private investigator supposedly hired by McDonald's. And this isn't real, guys. So, this is all pretense in the film, who's taking pictures of the restaurant and is going to sue them for nicking breach of copyright on the name McDowell's. They've even got the golden arch M symbol, just a little bit different.
See, they're McDonald's. I'm McDowell's.
Yeah. So anyway, Eddie and Arsenio Hall, they're posing as students from Africa. No one knows that he's going to be a king. He's going to inherit the country Zamundo. At the moment, he's a prince. So they've got a job on a pretense as students. It's a low-wage job.
Can't even mop because he's mopping with the basket.
Mopping with the what?
He was mopping with the basket.
All right, okay.
Cleo, the owner, is looking at him like, oh, this guy can't do this job.
Yeah, but he's trying to get close to Lisa McDowell, played by Charles Headley. Yeah. He's making small talk with her, like, hello, and she goes, hi. Hello. Yeah. He goes, hello. And
and this is a proper arc because she barely notices him the first time.
That's right. And she's coming across pleasant, though. She's not like one of these stuck-up rich kids, her dad owns a place. She could have just told him to sling his hook or something like that, but she's trying to, they're making her into a nice girl with a nice attitude and that lot. Yeah. You go to chat up some women and they'll go, yes, can I help you? So Akeem, played by Eddie Murphy, he makes acquaintance with Lisa McDowell, and so he tries things on from there on.
He's very fresh off the boat with her. But, it's genuine. Like he's introduced himself.
Yeah, but he don't want to come across too powerful because he wants to be this naive student like from Africa. Yeah. So he's pretending to be like that way. So then we're introduced you said, because this guy makes me laugh.
And this is the guy that Lisa's going out with. He comes into the parking lot. He's perming up his hair. He's the son of the owner of the Soul Glow brand we were talking about, the perm guys.
Yeah,
and he's admiring himself in the car mirror.
Yeah, that's Daryl Jenks, and he's played by Eric LaSalle.
Obviously, Lisa's dad, Cleo, who owns McDowell's, likes him because he's rich and he owns a company.
Yeah, but not compared to Eddie Murphy's character.
Yeah.
And we're going to find that out later on,
We also introduced to this white guy who works behind the counter at McDowell's.
Yeah, what
it's a career choice.
Somewhere. Yeah, we see Daryl and Lisa's relationship, and she thanks him for putting in such a big wad of cash. Remember we told you at that Black Awareness pageant night that Eddie Murphy wasn't paying attention. He put that big wad of cash into the donation pot.
The other day at the rally, somebody stuffed a large amount of cash into one of the collection boxes. You wouldn't happen to know who that was, would you?
You know me. Anything for the kids.
I thought it was you.
Our program, I like to think our program's quite educational because in writing, you could psychologically pick up on characters. Daryl didn't say, I didn't put that money in. He just gave a slimy smile and he just wanted the credit for it.
Hi, guys.
And as Lisa and Daryl's going off in his big red sports car, Eddie and Arsenio's cleaning up outside and Daryl throws a milkshake at them, inadvertently, thinking it will get into the dustbin, but it gets thrown all over Eddie Murphy. So the next scene we come to, we're back in the barber shop. Eddie Murphy says to Clarence, says to himself basically, that Clarence, another character, pointing at a poster on the wall of the So Glow poster saying, I want my hair like this. Clarence says, nah, you don't need to do your hair like that or whatever.
Well, I like the way hair, wear natural. That's good, man. I wish more of the young children today would wear their hair natural like Dr. Martin Luther King did.
You just find the way how you are, and he goes on to a long kind of rant. It's a quite funny story, and he's very animated when he talks. And with the Jewish guy there as well, played by Eddie Murphy as well, they have this funny conversation. It's really good the way they do it.
Yeah, and he asks them for advice. He says, your hair isn't going to get a girl. So you got to be friends with her dad. Impress her dad.
Yeah. He also, is it an American girl?
Yeah.
And he said, American girls, the way to them, you have to go through their dad.
Yeah.
You got to go through a papa. See, that's a big misconception. People don't know that about American women. Ain't got nothing to do with your hair or your pocket. You get in good with American woman's father, you in good with her. Ain't that right? He ain't lying.
Eddie Murphy goes into his office, Cleo McDowell's office, back at the McDowell's restaurant.
He tries to have conversation with the dad. Now, I know how Eddie Murphy is. I've been in this situation a lot when I was young, In them days, you used to have strict dads over their daughters and, they just didn't give you the time of day. It was really hard to get in there. So Eddie Murphy's talking about American football.
And in the end, the Giants triumphed by kicking an oblong ball made of pigskin to a big age. It was a most ripping victory.
Son?
Yes, sir.
You want to keep working here. Stay off the drugs.
So we're back at home of the McDowells and we got the sister. She's another cutie in this. We've got Lisa and her sister is Patrice, played by Alison Dean, and she's really strutting her stuff, playing music and they're just chilling out. And there's a little dog in this, a white puppy dog, and it's in a comedy scene later on in this. So there's a knock on the door and it's a delivery guy. Patrice opens the door. She takes out the package. It's $5,000 earrings, basically. Wow. And there's a note saying, from an admirer, but not Daryl. And her sister Patricia says, you've been giving someone booty. No man's going to give you an expensive gift like that if you ain't giving them something, Obviously, who's that from? Eddie Murphy, so he's just splashed out on this girl already. And at the moment, she doesn't have a clue that it's from him, because as far as she's concerned, Eddie Murphy's a poor student who just got into the country, so she don't have a clue that it's from him. So on our next scene, the next day, we got Eddie Murphy and Arsenio cleaning the windows. We see the sisters coming into work. He waves at them. She gives him a nice, friendly smile, I would imagine, though, that she's attracted to it. If you put all the money stuff to one side, in her mind, she's probably saying, he's not a bad-looking chocolate soldier there, So the McDowell sisters are sitting down, they're having a drink. Eddie Murphy comes over, he's doing his work, but they start to ask him questions. What university? I think she's trying to get to know him more. So they're kind of both flirting with him. Not flirting, maybe that's too much of a strong word, but they're just asking him about his life, what university do you go to?
What you doing in New York?
I'm a student.
What school are you going to?
I go to the university.
Which one?
The University of the United States.
So they invite him to a ball game, a basketball game. They said they could double date. This is another scene as well, funny scene as well. It's actually shot in Madison Square Garden. So they took some stock shots from there or sports shots from there, and they just build a set to make it look like they're in there. You can tell by the two different gradings of the film, innit? It's funny because Eddie Murphy, he's kind of he's trying to fit in with the crowd cheering and...
In his face! Yes! In the face!
But he says it at the wrong time, so he's late. His character clearly doesn't understand the game.
Yeah, and then he's going out with the girl he likes, his sister.
Patrice.
And he takes his jacket off, he puts it on his lap, and she starts pleasuring him and under the jacket.
Yeah.
It's like from Wedding Crashers, they took it from here.
Yeah.
And he's excited and she's smiling, and the guy, Daryl, the Soul Glow owner, is making fun of him because of his African roots. And Lisa's bothered by this, and at the same time, Eddie Murphy's being pleasured.
When he kind of, I wouldn't say use the word climax, but when he really feels good, he stands up and he goes, yeah! And Lisa and Patrice, they look at him and say, what the hell, man? Yeah. He excuses himself and says he's going to get some hot dogs or something, and he's lining up in a queue, and one of the workers who works at the stadium, he's carrying some items and he's walking past and he glimpses at Eddie Murphy. It happens that the guy is from Zamunda and he starts to bow down and say, this is the greatest day of my life.
Greetings, Your Highness.
Please stop bowing, please.
I am a loyal citizen of Zamunda.
Yes, but you're going to spill your beverages.
This is the greatest day of my life.
You know, and Eddie Murphy's trying to play it down and say, yeah, please don't do that. Because the guy knows that he's a prince. So the guy, Eddie Murphy walks off. The guy goes to collect another friend who's obviously from Zamunda as well. And he asks the friend to take a picture of them two together. Yeah. And then Daryl and Lisa, they're walking towards the shop as well, the stall as well. And they see this going on. And they see the guy saying, thank you for the rest of my life. I would remember this. Lisa asks Eddie Murphy, what happened there? And Eddie Murphy just said, it's a guy I met in the restroom.
Who was that?
Just the man I met in the restroom.
I didn't get the joke when I watched it years ago. Just the other day I was watching it and I said, oh, right, okay. Yeah. So as if he was pleasuring him in the room. Like. Okay, this is the SL Jackson radio show on topfm.net. And we're talking about the 1988 movie Coming to America. Join us after this for some more laughs. We're going to play some great Afro beats now, and we'll be back in a short while.
All the girls they love Galala. All the students don't cause Casala. For this dance you don't do Shagara. Oh yeah, honey, oh, like that. To your hand, to the front, and to the back. Okay, what is the plan? I have met all of your demands. Say you want to dance, you want for the money from my band. Oh, you scatter the ground, got the bodies they beat in town. When they see me around, they just scatter the dancing like clown. You have to go. We are so to go. Oh, you have to the ground. Like a this, like a that. All the girls they dance Galala. All the students don't cause Casala. For this dance you don't do Shagara. Oh yeah, like a this, like a that. To your hand, to the front, and to the back. It's your boss or your soul. Oh, I did your song, baby, dear. What are you doing? We are so low. Oh, you're not feeling down. Like I just like that. All the girls they dance Galala. All the students don't cause Casala. For this dance you don't do Shagara. Oh yeah, like a this, like a that. To your hand, to the front, and to the back. Cheesy. Oh yeah, like a this. the tire. Caro, they want them every minute. Caro, they make me feel lazy. Caro, they make my head the bang. Caro, they make me want the craze. But I'm still looking for Caro. Eva, show me Caro. Eva, CC Caro. Eva, where are you, Caro? Eva, I'm looking for Caro. Eva, show me Caro. Eva, CC Caro. Eva, where are you, Caro?
Caro fine, plenty. Caro sweet, no got any me. He's a little on my radio. What's your show that fed by me? Sexy girl, yeah, bring it up. Star boy, you know we shut it up. Anything we touch, I wanna go now. Don't all I don't even see me now. Where I say, yeah, move to the beat and I say, yeah. No time for all this, I want to spend all my baby. And I say, yeah, move to the beat and I say, yeah. No time for all this, I want to spend all my baby. Looking for Caro, Eva, show me Caro, Eva, CC Caro, Eva, where are you, Caro, Eva, I'm looking for Caro, Eva, show me Caro, Eva, CC Caro, Eva,
Yaga. Caro, your body necessary. Necessary. Caro, carry new story. New story. Caro, they make my head the turn. Caro, they make me want to lose them. Caro, they make my head the bang. Caro, they make my head the scatter. Caro,
And welcome back to the S.O. Jackson Radio Show. This is on topfm.net. And the two tracks you just heard, the first one by Davido, and that's called Skellaway. And the second one by Starboy featuring LAX and Wizkid, and that's Caro. Two great pieces of Afrobeat music there. Now we're talking about the 1988 comedy, rom-com, drama starring the fabulous comic Eddie Murphy. We're talking about the 1988 Coming to America.
Eddie Murphy's playing the prince of a fictional African country called Zamundo, and he's unhappy with being a prince because he gets everything made for him, everything done for him, even his future wife, and he decides to break with tradition and to go to America with his best friend, played by Arsenio Hall, and they end up in Queens, where they wanted to go because of the name Queen. He ends up staying in a poor area, meeting a cast of characters, ending up in a conference hall where he meets his future love interest, and she's the daughter of a McDowell's, which is a play on the word McDonald's, and he ends up working at this place so that he can have a better chance with her.
That's right, and her name is Lisa McDowell. And in the scene now, we just see Samuel Jackson. He enters. We're laughing because we're watching as we're talking about it. He enters the restaurant whilst Eddie Murphy was mopping up the floor, and he just intervened in a conversation with Lisa McDowell. Her boyfriend just went over to the counter to get something, whilst Samuel Jackson's character, a very young Samuel Jackson, I must say, enters the restaurant with a pump-action shotgun. As soon as he comes in, he fires one shot up into the ceiling.
All right, everybody shut up and do what I say. Get the money out. Stay cool. Nobody gets hurt.
And he's telling everybody to just get down, and he's requiring money from the cashier. And Arsenio Hall, he's on the other side of the counter. Eddie Murphy's very calm and relaxed. And as I was saying earlier about writers intertwining and putting motifs into story, where we saw Eddie Murphy at the start of the movie fighting Arsenio Hall with a pole, he's got a pole in his hand now. So already it excites the audience to say, I wonder what he's going to do with that pole. Probably stick it up somewhere where the sun doesn't shine. But in any case, he whips it at Samuel Jackson's character, and then Arsenio Hall jumps over the counter. Samuel Jackson drops his pump-action shotgun to the floor. Arsenio picks it up, points it at him, and says,
"Freeze, you diseased rhinoceros pizzle."
They're seen as heroes, and the timing couldn't be better. Now, if I was a cynic and this was real life, I would have said Eddie Murphy paid that guy to come in at that time so he could look good in front of his new girlfriend, or, impress her. So anyway, later on, we see Arsenio Hall and Eddie Murphy outside in the cold, emptying the trash. And the father, Mr. McDowell, Cleo McDowell, he says, well done, guys. For your good work, I'm going to let you do something special tonight.
I'm having a little get-together at my house.
You see? It is working. He has accepted us as equals.
And then after we cut away from them being in the cold, from a night shot of them being in the cold again, Mr. McDowell's having some kind of get-together at his home, and they're going to be doing the valet service.
And serving champagne inside.
Yeah.
So Eddie Murphy gets the better job. And yes, there's a party going on at Mr. McDowell's house. We find out his wife died, and he's a single father with 2 daughters. And then the party guests come in. We see the Reverend Brown. We see a bunch of other people. Everyone's mingling.
So we got Daryl and Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy's serving the champagne, and Daryl, Lisa's present boyfriend, he's talking to Eddie Murphy about his future wife, you know, and he's saying you have to know how to control a woman, and he's not putting her down, but he's kind of like boasting off.
But they all want a man to take charge.
You know, you think he's doing himself a favour by talking this way, which he doesn't know that Eddie Murphy fancies his wife. And we've got another scene where Daryl's parents, you know, they've all got Jerry curl, and this is a good scene. They're all sitting in the sofa, and they've all donning a Jerry curl as well. So we see a shot of that. Then there's a scene where Daryl pulls Cleo McDowell to one side, and he says, you know, I want to announce that I want to take your daughter's hand in marriage, and the father's happy for that, and he tells everybody to come up. Daryl's parents come off the sofa. As I said, they all got like Jerry curl on, and as they come off from the material sofa, you see 3 wet patches. I'm not sure if a lot of people get this, because back in the day when people used to wear Jerry curl, it was just greasy and it left wet wherever you went. You got that in a cut or anything, it would sting like crazy. But anyway, they announced the engagement. To Lisa's surprise, you know, she didn't have a clue that, you know, that he was going to propose to her. He didn't discuss it with her. So she's rather flabbergasted by the news.
Now, as you all know, Daryl and Lisa have been going together for quite some time. Well, I'm pleased to announce that just a few moments ago, Daryl here popped the big question.
And Eddie Murphy's looking like, damn, I've blown my chance. And we've got Reverend Brown just beside her. Imagine you're surprised at something, and you got someone just barking in your ears, and he's preaching. He says, yes, and may you have good children, and may your wedding be fine.
Praise the Lord.
It's just hilarious, you know. So she kind of storms out. She asks Daryl to come with her. She remonstrates in front of him how she disapproves of the way how he done it. She's not saying that she won't marry him, but she's just not happy the way how it was done. Eddie Murphy clocks that, you know, he sees what's happening, so he still kind of thinks to himself, maybe the door isn't quite shut. Maybe he could get in there. And he reads off this. Remember, in the film, he's a prince. He's an intelligent guy. He's probably educated, went to some of the best schools in the world or whatever, you know. So, he knows what's going on.
And then he swoops in. She runs out of the house. She's angry at Daryl, and she's on a swing, and he gives her a jacket. Eddie Murphy does. Would you like some champagne? And a drink.
In Jamaica, they've got a saying called Joe Grind. You know, that's when a man, he would see your woman, and he would see, like, if you're at work or you're not next to your woman, you're going through the back door and try and seduce her or something. So that's what Eddie Murphy's done now. He saw the argument ensuing, and he's come out with a bottle of champagne and 2 champagne glasses. Come on.
And she opens up to him, and she feels really confident in telling him everything, and they talk openly to each other.
Are you all right?
I'm fine. I'm just not going to be pressured into marriage, not by Daryl or my father or anybody.
And then her sister comes out, who's sort of unofficially dating Eddie Murphy's character. And she mentions to Eddie Murphy how her sister might like him.
Yeah, but you know what? I just think like she's testing the waters. You know, it's a tactic. She's saying, I like you, but if you fancy my sister, I'm not going there, if you see what I mean. So she's just kind of seeing if he likes her.
Yeah.
And she wanted him to say, no, it's you I like. But Eddie, this way his sophistication is coming through. He's not going to do that. Because she just says, hey, be careful. I think my sister likes you. He doesn't say anything. And I like the way they just close out on black on that.
Next morning now, they're in the crappy hotel room in the Queens and they have to go to work. But of course, I think Semi's really angry that he has to work at all because he's a rich guy. He's doing this as a favor for Eddie Murphy, his friend. And he's not happy that he has to be a valet, as a waiter, working in McDowell's. This is where he sort of disobeys his friend's orders.
Yeah, but what was the last order Eddie Murphy gave to him? He says, clean up this apartment.
Yeah. And Eddie Murphy wants to look poor.
But the reason why I say that is when we come back to the apartment, we're going to see something else. We're back at the McDowell's restaurant and Eddie Murphy... They're just doing some small talk with, there's a white guy that worked there, they're talking with him, and he's just telling Eddie Murphy about the future prospects of this place.
You know, I started on cleanup just like you guys, but now, see, I'm washing lettuce. Soon I'll be on fries, then the grill. A year or two, I make assistant manager. And that's where the big bucks start rolling in.
After work now, Eddie Murphy's walking with Lisa McDowell. And, you know, they're really, really getting friendly. They're really getting on. She invites him over to his place for dinner. And he says, no, why don't you come over to my place and I'll cook you a meal. And she's all like coy. And then she says, okay, then, as long as I do the shopping. And they say, it's a deal. So we arrive back at Eddie Murphy's apartment with shopping, food. Eddie Murphy's about to go in his apartment. And you know when I said earlier that Eddie Murphy asks Arsenio Hall's character to clean up the place? Well, it looks like a swanky apartment now. It's got like all this fluorescent lighting, there's painted, strip flooring, it's got jacuzzi in there and a colour TV. And Arsenio's in the jacuzzi drinking champagne and Eddie Murphy is peed off with him.
He's supposed to be a poor man.
The keys?
He's saying like, how could you do this, man? We're supposed to be poor. I can't invite her in there. And the girl's saying, oh, can we go in there? And Eddie Murphy says, wait a minute. He goes back and he drops the shopping in there. He comes back out and he makes up the excuse to say, you know, there's a big rat in there. I think it's best not. So they decide to eat out for dinner. And he takes all of the money. There's wads of cash that he puts into a McDowell bag and he takes it with him because he can't trust Semi with the money. You know, he's just blowing the money on all these fancy things and he doesn't want to draw that kind of attention to him, like, you know.
Yeah.
So
they're walking down by a river and you can see the World Trade Center in the background. With the Brooklyn Bridge.
That's right.
And he gives the money to a homeless person.
Yeah, but not just any homeless person. These guys, they were in Trading Places. They were the two guys that got broke in the Trading Places film. What John Landis done here, he put them guys back into this movie. This is why they say, hey, we're back in business, because they were like stockbrokers before. And Eddie Murphy was in that film playing a young homeless guy, so the roles have actually switched. It's good. I like the way how they done that. It's very clever, you know.
Yeah. So they're having dinner.
Yeah, so they're having dinner and the two homeless guys come up to them again and he says, thank you very much. Lisa's kind of saying, why is it so many people love you all the time, want to be, you know, you do something to people. And Eddie Murphy, instead of saying, yeah, that's because I'm a king or I'm going to be a king and I'm worth so much money, Eddie Murphy just play it cool and just say, well, you know.
I bet where you're from, women practically throw themselves at your feet.
Why do you say that?
Because you have a kind of inner glow, like you're above anything petty.
He says he's a goat herder back in Zamunda. And he's lying to her just so he can hide his wealth. He wants her to like him for
who he is and not for his money. And I tell rich guys this all the time, you know, get a girl who loves you for you, your heart, man, you know. And then you could show her the Porsche or the Lamborghini or whatever, you know. Then, you know, you got a woman who really loves you. Yeah. Or maybe not, I don't know. So then they start to really talk, you know, romantically, and then after the Oscar to dance. And I like the music. It's actually, they dance to a Jackie Wilson track, they just smooch to, and they land their first kiss, you know. As in fairy tales, you know, it always starts off with a kiss. Okay, this is the SL Jackson radio show. This is ontopfm.net. And remember, you could pick us up on TuneIn Radio. Pick up the app there, or you could go onto the ontopfm.net website. You could get to see all the DJs and what times the different shows are coming on. And then also, if you want to have a little chat with me and Charlie, you could pick us up on our Twitter at SLJ Radio Show, or you could hook us up on our Facebook, SL Jackson Radio Show. Okay, we're going to go away for a little bit. We'll be back after these two tracks.
This is crazy, Charlie.
On top in the house. On top in the house.
Well, trouble, Mona. Yeah. Well, trouble, Mona. Come on, dog your boy, I'll be true baller. If the money we go spend, I go do all that. We dey chop Japan, we know the bull dollar. Cause even if it be the new Corsa, you the cruise for town, you know they look proper. Make you come, I go find you some $2 jack. If you feel like we go open some cool chop bar. 022444245. Charlie, that be the number I dey use ball life. I dey give every chick they look alright. Ever since then times we had to do foresight. But since the day we I look your eyes, down to your belly, down to your thighs. Even if I go make macho to your guy go far, go trust me, I go do or die. Put that job, Mona. Put that job, Mona. Put that job, Mona. Put that job, Mona. Yeah. Put that job, Mona. You are in love with your big sister's school daughter. What you want to know, what you go do wrong now. Make her show you how to score like a footballer. Show them say you get flex, you be cool brother. We know they like guy, you for do burger. You be that B plus if they moved on now. You go practice safe sex, you go use rubber. Well, ain't trouble, Mona. I bet you know that be the new formula. And I bet you didn't know that's a new drug bar. He ain't show me how to score, go through corner. But most rappers, they do more stuff. For the boot inside that they do wonders. Charlie, my last line between on fire. If you something, call the boot got time. Put that job, Mona. 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 Put that job, Mona.
Let's be real.
It's like the E on the beat.
Hey, this one na Sara Sara. The beat is tarantana. You go make you manya manya. Ines is in manya manya. Oh yeah, make you ricotta ricotta, mama Africa ricotta, hey. Make you dance, yeah, 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 yeah. Everybody ricotta ricotta, mama Africa ricotta, hey. Make you dance, yeah, 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 yeah. This one na Sara Sara. The beat is tarantana. You go make you manya manya. Ines is in manya manya. This is for people with chalacha, hey. People with kalaka, hey. Yeah, nandi walanya, hey. Nandi kalanya. It go make you feel better. This can take away palaba. This can take away wahala. It go make you feel Niger. Oh yeah, let's go to Kenya, Rwanda and Tanzania. Togo, Cameroon, Niger, Ghana, Southern Sudan. Oh yeah, make you ricotta ricotta, mama Africa ricotta, hey. Make you dance, yeah, 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 yeah. Everybody ricotta ricotta, mama Africa ricotta, hey. Make you dance, yeah, 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 yeah. One Sara Sara le, oh Sara Sara le. Make you dance, yeah. make you no fight, oh. Hey, you go forget your sorrow. Makachuku, you go buy and play for your moto. Oh, hey, hey, this one na Sara Sara. The beat is tarantana. It go make you manya manya. Ines is in manya manya. This is for people with chalacha. Hey, people with kalaka. Hey, nandi walanya. Hey, nandi kalanya. It go make you feel better. This can take away palaba. This can take away wahala. It go make you feel Niger. Oh yeah, let's go to Zambia, Uganda, South Africa, Togo, Cameroon, Burundi, also Benin Republic. Hey, oh yeah, make you ricotta, ricotta, mama Africa, ricotta, hey, make you dance, yeah, 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 yeah. Everybody ricotta, ricotta, mama Africa, ricotta, hey, make you dance, yeah, 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 yeah. One Sara Sara le, oh Sara Sara le, make you dance, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh Sara Sara le, mama Africa, Sara Sara le, make you dance, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, my name is for Sara Sara le, fly from mama Sara Sara le, make you dance, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ukona Sara Sara le, ndi bonine Sara Sara le, make you dance, yeah, 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 yeah.
On top in the house.
And welcome back to the SL Jackson radio show, and a couple of tracks you just heard. First one being by EL, and that was Abu Mo, and the second one by Bracket, and that's Mama Africa. Tonight we're playing 100% Afro beats. Coming to America, 1988 movie starring Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall, and James Earl Jones. So Eddie Murphy and the McDowell daughter, they're actually kissed at dinner. There seems to be a dilemma here now. She's fallen for him big time. So the next scene now, we've got Arsenio Hall. As in the last couple of scenes back, Eddie Murphy had taken his bunch of money from him. You know, he's saying like he's just here to look for a wife. He's not here to have fun in that way. So he's taken all his money from him. So Arsenio Hall's gone and sent a telegram back home to Eddie Murphy's family requesting some money, $400,000 to be exact.
To His Majesty King Joffrey Jaffer, the Royal Palace, Zamunda. Sire, Akeem and I have depleted our funds. Kindly send 300,000 American dollars immediately, as we are in dire straits.
He actually said to the lady behind the counter, she's saying $400,000, and Arsenio all says, oh, don't you think that's enough? Tell them to send $1 million. Sorry, $500,000. He's actually requested $500,000 from the family, saying that they've run out of money. So he's returned back to the apartment, and who should he find inside the apartment?
Patrice, she's wearing a pink dress. She decided to visit Akeem, who she was going out with, Eddie Murphy's character, to their flat in Queens. Arsenio Hall's character walks in, and he pretends he's the prince that can afford all this renovation in that room and all these stuff. And he says Eddie Murphy's his servant.
So just so that he could like get it off with the girl. So Eddie Murphy's walking home now. He's on his way home and he's in love. You know, this is just after he kissed the girl at the restaurant. So he's feeling fully content. He think he's found his wife, and he's singing on the street. And slowly he's waking up the neighborhood around him.
To be loved, whoa, what a feeling.
I remember one time we were shooting a movie late at night. The female character, her boyfriend, had just been shot, and she was screaming. She's going, ah! This is in East London. And you got a guy, there's like 30 of us on the street, camera technicians, everything. And you got a guy, he didn't know that we were making a film. He said, shut up, you stupid bitch. And everybody just curled up laughing. It was just hilarious. But anyway, so he wakes up the neighborhood. He comes inside the apartment and he sees Patricia and Akeem. I'm not sure if they went the other way or whatever. She exits the apartment and she says, good night, Your Highness, or words to that effect. So Eddie Murphy's kind of like saying, you know, if you're the prince, then what does that make me? And that's what he says, the servant.
And he's happy with that because it's a different role for him to play. guy. So they're back at the McDowell's, and the father of the two girls, he's been receiving many flowers. His daughter has been receiving many flowers from Daryl, the guy she used to go out with. And he doesn't like it because he thinks Hakeem is like a poor guy from Africa. And Daryl's a rich guy, and he wants her to go out with a rich guy.
The father tries to persuade his daughter to say, Daryl treats you good and everything, and, your mother would have wanted to see you with a nice guy. And she just tried to reassure her that she's happy, she's happy with the way how he is and that. Back at the apartment, we get the landlord coming in the room now, and Eddie Murphy still wants to maintain this humble goat herder lifestyle that he's come from. So he puts a request into the landlord, would you like to swap apartments? You take this apartment and we can have your apartment downstairs. I won't say what he called his apartment, but he said, we'll take the apartment downstairs.
Does your apartment look poor?
Yeah, it's a real hole. You'll love it.
So, that telegram obviously reached King Joffre's residence very quickly because it's actually brought him to America.
They're in Mercedes-Benz limos and they're being escorted by the police to this rundown part of Queens, and they're looking for their son.
Yeah, and the flower girls, as I said earlier at the start of the film, the flower girls, the pebbles, they put flower pebbles on the floor everywhere the king's walking. So they visit the barber shop. Obviously it's the address that he sent on the telegram where to send the money. So the father, James Earl character, he goes into the barber shop and he's confronted by Clarence. And he's kind of taken aback by seeing this guy, and Earl's character got this lion skin over one of his shoulders. And you've got the Jewish guy, Saul, he's just feeling the skin. He said, hey, there's some nice material you got there, So James Earl Jones introduces himself as being the king of Zamunda, Eddie Murphy's father, and he says he's looking for his son.
I have come for my son Akeem.
Come for who?
Kunta from up Kunta.
Oh, yeah, the boy upstairs. Oh, yeah, him. He around there someplace. He live upstairs on the 5th floor.
James Earl's character go upstairs to the apartment, and they see the landlord, Frankie Faison's character, in the jacuzzi. But he sees a picture of his son on the wall, and he asks Frankie Faison, what's this? Frankie Faison, they must think, all these people are stupid. They said, it's a photograph.
What is this?
He said, yeah, I know it's a photograph, but what's it doing there?
What is this? McDowell's?
It's a place over on Queens Boulevard. I think he works there.
My son works.
And so Frankie Faison informs James Earl's character, the king, they swapped apartments and that his son is actually downstairs. That used to be his apartment. So they go downstairs to apartment 1A, and Arsenio Hall opens the door. And he just screams and shuts the door back. Then after he opens it again, James Earl's character tells him that, what's going on there? Arsenio Hall is coming up with a bunch of, a story basically. And he doesn't quite buy it. The father doesn't quite buy it. So he tells him the truth that they're here to seek a wife for the prince, and that he's kind of in love with a girl whose father owns McDowell's. And he sanctions him to be scrubbed by two beautiful women at the Waldorf Hotel as punishment.
Yeah.
Sammy, you have disgraced yourself, and you must be punished. You will confine yourself to our royal suite at the Waldorf Astoria, and I want you to bathe him thoroughly.
I wish I had that kind of punishment when I was younger. Yeah. In the meantime, Eddie Murphy's at a museum with Patricia, and they're like in the African section. Basically, they see a lot of sculptures and African pieces. Then there's a picture of Eddie Murphy's father, his mother, and himself beside a statue. And Eddie Murphy suddenly grabs her and starts to kiss her so that, they can avoid
seeing
the picture. We see the king, James Earl character, come to the restaurant. Do you notice the McDowell guy? He's reading some books.
Yeah, it says McDonald's on it.
So we see him come into the McDowell's restaurant, and they're confronted by Mr. McDowell himself, and he's saying he's the owner throne of the establishment. What do you want? And he said, James Earl character says, I'm looking for my son, Prince Akeem. James Earl character's taken aback because he's saying he's a prince. And James Earl character say, yes, well, he's my son and I'm looking for him. So John Amos, Cleo McDowell's character, he's quite pleased to know that Akeem is going to be next in line to the throne of Zamunda.
Can you tell us where he might be?
Oh, yes, he's out with my lovely daughter, Lisa.
He's over the moon because he's in love with his daughter. He tells him once he knows where they are, he will contact him straight away. So Eddie Murphy and Patricia, they reach back at his place and he sees the pebbles on the stairs, the flower pebbles. I keep going on about that. So he knows that his family or a representative has been to the apartment. So he goes upstairs, there's a note left on the door.
So I have to go to the Waldorf Astoria semi.
Oh, okay, so Semi's left that note. So he knows he's in a bit of trouble here, so he goes back to Patricia's place and the father's there. And Cleo McDowell, he's happy to see Eddie Murphy this time. He says, hey, come in, sit down. Would you like a drink? He's really treating him nice, This baffles the couple, the new couple, Eddie Murphy and Patricia. They're saying, how come he's being so nice? They have a clue. So the father, whilst he's out making them a drink, he rings up Eddie Murphy's father, who's at the Astoria, and he tells him to come down. He gives the address as Jamaica Heights. It's not a real address, so he says, yeah, come down. And then they hear the door knock, and guess who should be at the door?
It's Dylan.
Daryl. So Daryl's at the door, and the father, he says, I'll go and open that. And Daryl's got some flowers, and the father just closes the door in his face. Don't even say hello or goodbye. You don't want to know about him no more. Daryl knocks the door again. It interrupts a conversation with the father, with the couple. He opens the door again, and he said, can't you see the girl doesn't love you no more, you greasy head? And he just shuts the door in his face again. The father goes back to talk to the couple. Daryl knocks the door again. The father's really peed off this time. He trips on the stair. He opens the door and the father says to Daryl, I warned you. And he set the little puppy dog onto Daryl. The puppy dog comes running up to Daryl and starts to chew at his feet or whatever.
The dad just wants Hakeem to stay, Eddie Murphy's character, so that he can he's called obviously his father to come, Hakeem's father, James Earl Jones' character, to come in, and so that they can have a discussion on their children's future. But Eddie Murphy just wants to leave the home. He doesn't want to meet his parents yet. And of course Lisa doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't know why her dad is being so nice to Hakeem, and she doesn't know why Hakeem is being weird right now.
And she says, Daddy! Like it was the bloody Brady Bunch or something.
Daddy?
You two make a beautiful couple, Lisa.
Daddy?
He's a real fine young man.
Dad?
Okay, Lisa. He's rich. He is rich.
He pulls out a pound note with Eddie Murphy's face on it, and she's quite upset because a lot of women, they will be happy and this and that, but she's thinking she's being lied to. Yeah. She doesn't know this guy, so she's quite peed off Okay, this is the S.O. Jackson radio show on topfm.net. We're going to go away. We're going to come back with the finale. So just keep it tuned, keep it locked. We're going to hit you back after these couple of tunes.
Back, baby, you pull over. Baby, you pull over. Reverse, baby, you pull over. Baby, you pull over. Show me your particular, baby, pull over. Baby, you pull over. In a light, baby, you pull over. Baby, you pull over. Back, baby, you pull over. Baby, you pull over. Reverse, baby, you pull over. Baby, you pull over. Show me your particular, baby, pull over. Baby, you pull over. In a light, baby, you pull over. Baby, you pull over. If it a man, they make me they follow your lane. I like how you there. I want make you follow me play. If it a man, they make me they follow your lane. I like how you there. I want make you follow me play. Your bumper, catchy, your real light, flashy. I dey feeling you badly. You dey making me want to go naughty. I'll take you round the world, my baby, oh, baby, baby, nah, nah. Back, pull over. Reverse, baby, you pull over. Baby, you pull over. Show me your particular, baby, pull over. Show me everything I wanna see. In a light, baby, you pull over. Baby, you pull over. Okay. Baby, nah, nah. Oh, you wine and I wine to the sand. You know, say we there for your matter. Oh, you wine and I wine to the sand. You know, say we there for your matter. Oh, you wine and I wine to the sand.
Let's be real.
Have you seen my beautiful baby? Have you seen my tomato baby? Oh, ELA, baby, suffer de cool me temper. Ada, baby, na sugar, yo. Everybody they wait, utakene no more. If I didn't maka, better soup na money kill amo. Ada mwa pekem ya, ada, yo. Ada mwa, change someone. Ada get them for everywhere. Ada know they like Ada get them for up and down. Baby na tomato, baby too fresh like morning wine. Ada welele, yo coco. Everybody they wait. Utakene no more. If I didn't maka, better soup na money kilamo. Ada mwa pekem ya, ada, yo, ada mwa, cheya samwa, yo, everybody do it. I want you, if I didn't maka, better soup na money kilamo. Ada mwa pekem ya, finale of the SL Jackson radio show on TopFM.net. The couple of tunes you just heard, that was KC featuring Wizard Kid again, and that's Pullover. And the last track is Flavor, and that's Ada. Now we're discussing the 1988 comical classic Genius by Eddie Murphy, I should say, directed by John Landis, and it's coming to America. So what we've got now, we've got a guy who's come to America. He's looking for a wife. He's found one, a potential wife by the name of Patricia McDowell. Her father is Cleo McDowell, and they run the restaurant McDowell Enterprise Restaurant, sell burgers and stuff like that. His dad has come to America on the request that he should give money to Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall's character because they've run out of money. This was requested by Arsenio Hall, but he's come and he's not too pleased at what he's found. So Patricia's very upset because she's found out she's been lied to.
You know, she's been with Eddie Murphy's character. She thought he was a poor student from Africa, and she liked him for himself, basically. So she's very upset, to say the least. She's found out now that he's really a prince. He's going to be the king of Zamunda. She don't feel too good about things, you know. She's probably someone with a lot of ethics and morals, and she just didn't want to be lied to. So Eddie Murphy is really peed off. He's gone to the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. We can see Arsenio Hall. He's having punishment by having a nice bubble bath, being bathed by a nice, beautiful woman. Now we're back at the McDowell house, family house, and McDowell has invited the king, played by James Earl Jones, and his wife and the entourage to the house. He's saying, like, you know, the youngsters have probably gone out to get pizza.
Of course, Cleo's very happy. The father is very happy to see this rich family in his house. He's very welcoming.
Well, this must be your lovely wife. How are you today?
No, very well, thank you.
I don't know whether to shake your hand or kiss it or bow or what.
And he introduces the lazy boy chair to James Earl Jones' wife, the Queen. And his son is James Earl Jones is looking for his son, Hakeem. Eddie Murphy's character is not there. And then James Earl Jones, the king, says, "I want to speak to the daughter that my son likes." Cleo takes him to her room and he talks to her.
He finds that she really does love him for who he is, and the father purports to her that his son is going to be getting married to another woman back in his homeland, Zamunda.
I understand you're seeing my son.
I was seeing him.
Then he must have told you about his wife in Zamunda.
He's married?
No, but he will be soon. We've already chosen his bride.
And she's unawares of this. You know, she tells him that she just want to be left alone. So she leaves the house. The king's wife kind of rebukes James Earl Jones's character because James Earl says, in other words, that she's cheap and she's just after his son for the money. That really upsets Cleo, and he says his daughter's not that way, and that, you know, he really gives Earl Jones a dressing down for saying that remark about his daughter.
The man is beneath me, and so is his daughter.
I don't give a damn who you are. This is America, Jack. Now you say one more word about Lisa here, and I'm gonna break my foot off in your royal ass.
Then Eddie Murphy comes in with Arsenio Hall. They're now dressed in gentleman attire, shirt, tie, overcoats, with a Russian hat still. There's a little kind of Mexican standoff, if I could put it that way, going on, because everybody's confused on who the real king is. Well, Patricia's sister is, because she was told that Arsenio Hall's character is the real king. It's been announced that that's not true. She would say, "Oh, that's not fair. I always get the rubbish guy." Eddie Murphy tells his father, you know, that that's the woman he really loves and he wants to marry her, and that he will not leave without Lisa. So his mother says, "Well, if you really love her, go and get her." And she tells her husband to put a sock in it. So he runs out after Lisa. He just about sees her entering into the subway, and he gives chase to her. He eventually catches her up on a train, and they start to have their, you know, in fine Hollywood fashion, have this kind of big kind of conversation in front of a lot of people. You know, he loves her, and she's still upset. He says he would renounce his throne if it means being with her, but she ain't gonna buy that, and she just leaves him, like, you know. And there's a woman on the train who overhears the conversation. You know, there's quite a lot of people on the packed carriage.
Lisa, please. I love you.
What about the woman you're supposed to marry?
I do not love her. Why do you think I came to America?
A woman tries to encourage her to take a chance. Go on, honey, take a chance. You know, some lovely, beautiful one-liners coming out of this film. But she just walks off from him.
Look, I'm sorry, I can't. Goodbye, Hakeem.
Eddie Murphy's, he doesn't even bother give chase. And another woman says, you know, if you're a king, I'll be your prince, an elderly woman, which was a nice little sweet touch. And he just gives her the $500,000 earrings to her. You know, that will buy a lot of groceries there. And the film seems like it's closing. You know, Eddie Murphy is seen going back to Zamunda. The wife tells the king, you know, you don't have to follow tradition. You're the king. You could change the laws.
It is out of our hands. The girl told him no.
Well, after the way you treated her, who could blame her?
Even if she said yes, they still could not marry. It is against the tradition.
Well, it is a stupid tradition.
Who am I to change it?
I thought you were the king.
And so then we see a big wedding taking place. We don't quite yet know at this moment that it is Lisa, the woman chosen, but then we find out that it is. And again, we see them at the wedding, embracing in a delicious kiss with one another. She says to him, "But have you really given all this up for me?" And Eddie Murphy said, "Well, if you want, I could renounce my throne now." And she went, "Nah." And it finishes in fine style. The finish to this, Charlie, is a bit like Grease.
Yeah, because the girl changes her original
that's right.
stance on, in this case, poverty, and she doesn't care anymore about poverty. She's rich now. She's not gonna give that up. And in Grease, the main actress in that, she changes herself and she becomes like those guys that she hated.
Well, don't spoil it, because we're going to be doing that, believe it or not, in a few weeks' time.
Yeah.
So, 1988 coming to America. Guys, get the movie. You're going to love this movie. You know, in years to come, you know, when they look at comedians and comics, I think Eddie Murphy will be the one up there. We've got so many movies that we want to do of these. We got some that's not even so popular, like Bowfingers, a very funny film. But coming to America, I give this movie a 10.
Oh, but Eddie Murphy's lost respect because of his Meet Dave and Norbit.
Yeah, but he's done so many good movies, and this is definitely a 10. There's a lot of actors, yes, they go on a low, like a footballer, you know, they have a bad season, you know, you can't be on top all the time. But I named 10 of his movies earlier, and they were all great movies. So I do give this movie a 10. It's a very family-orientated, entertaining movie. You know, it's the kind of movie you could put down in front of your gran, your mum, your dad, your granddad, your kids, your nieces, your nephews. Eat some food, popcorn, burgers, and just watch this movie. Guys, it was nice being with you this evening. And this is ontopfm.net. This is the SL Jackson Radio Show. Remember to hit us up. Twitter at SLJ Radio Show. Or Twitter as well, at ontopfm.net, Facebook, ontopfm.net website. And guys, have a good week. Until next week, we'll see you then.
Thank you.
And good night.